It's bedtime for Hayes. He's very sleepy. But for us, we're gonna do a brain dump. Here we go. Everything we're doing on this sheet today has to do with chemistry. So we're dealing with elements and chemical equations and atoms primarily. So let's go ahead and start out with Ape Man. This acronym, Ape Man, each letter means something. Let's break it down. The A in Ape Man is for atomic number. P is for protons. E is for electrons. And these first three, we're going to stop for a second because these three are all equal to each other. If I know the atomic number of an element, I automatically know the number of protons and the number of electrons because it's going to be the same number. The letter M, and this is kind of a separate statement, so let's draw a line between them to separate ape from man. M stands for mass. A is just like it did before, stands for atomic number. And the N stands for the neutral particles of the atom called neutrons. For man, it's M minus A equals N. And we're going to use one element as an example and plug it into each of these letters to kind of understand how this applies to the periodic table. So in the white space to the right, draw a very large square. And in the center, I want you to write Li. We're going to use lithium, the element lithium, on the periodic table as our example for plugging it into Ape Man. Looking at the periodic table, I see that lithium has an atomic number of 3. It has an atomic mass of 6.941. Let's use lithium and apply it to Ape Man. Let's see what we get. Well, the atomic number for lithium is 3. So right below the letter A as an example, and you know what? Let's put EX over here. So we know that this is an example, is 3. That means that there are 3 protons and 3 electrons. Easy, easy, easy. Now let's look at mass. The atomic mass is the number on the bottom part of the element square. We first have to round that number. 6.941. 9 is 5 or more, so we raise the score. So 6 goes up to 7. Mass, rounded, is 7, minus the atomic number, which, as we stated before, is 3. And when we actually do the subtraction, 7 minus 3 equals 4. Simple, simple, simple. Okay, we're going to move on. Take a look at the acronym RAP. This applies to chemical equations. A chemical equation is a lot like, let's say, making a cake. You have ingredients, you put the ingredients together, then you put it in the oven where it gets heat, and then you end up with a cake. The reactants, R stands for reactants, are like the ingredients of the chemical equation. Those are the things that we're going to put together in order to get a final product. This P stands for product. So the reactants are the ingredients. The product is the final result. And the A stands for arrow. Reactants, you put them all together and it will yield, it will put out a product. Reactants, arrow, product, wrap. Scoot on down to G, F, and P. Let's trace over the arrows. First, we'll do the one going down. On the periodic table, elements that are in a column where they go up and down, those are a group, also known as a family. Group, family, go up and down. There are 18 groups, families. There are 18 groups, 18 families on the periodic table. The P stands for period. Periods go across. There are 7 periods on the periodic table. You need to know that groups and families go up and down, periods go across. The last thing we're going to do is discuss briefly organic compounds. When you have 2 or more elements that you put together, you get a compound. It's when you're combining atoms, combining elements. And there are a few elements on the periodic table that are extremely important for life. Some of these are sulfur, phosphorus, O, everybody always knows that, it's what we breathe, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and hydrogen. Organic compounds, meaning compounds that have the potential for life, most of them have 2 or 3 or more of these essential elements. Of all of these, the ones that you need to know are most commonly found in organic compounds are carbon and hydrogen. When you see carbon and hydrogen in a compound, you know that they are indicating, most likely, an organic compound, which probably yields the elements for life. One last look at the whole thing, make sure you have all of it. And that's it.